Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Valenti broadcast. I'm your perfect and humble leader, Chris Valenti. How are ya? How are ya? How are ya? How are ya? Let's set up a quick poll. Quick poll, quick poll. Hi, everybody. Morning, Jack. Oh, you're playing Helldivers. How is it? I gotta download it. I gotta get that downloaded for later. Quick poll, quick poll. Hi, everybody. Paolo Zampoli disappeared his ex-wife, Epstein victim at 17. No, I did not know that. I did not know that. I'm a hell diving vet. If you need a carry, I probably will. I mean, dude, what I find really funny about this whole thing is General Valenti, the hell diver. He's part of the hell divers lore. That motherfucker has been faking his service for so long, and now he actually has to go into the fight. Oh, it's gonna be scary. It's gonna be scary, Boberry. Bella Covfefe. Ooh, Bella. 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 Bella Covfefe. We got a couple of things to talk about, but this one I just wanted to read up on. Israel killed 5 journalists and they blew up a hospital. Granted, that's not out of character for them. But I want to see if these were international Oh, these were international journalists. The Associated Press and Reuters? Yo, journalists from the Associated Press and Reuters were killed by Israel. Holy fuck. Hussam al-Masri, a cameraman for the Reuters news agency, was operating a live feed with a bird's eye view when tanks in a devastated city in Khan Yunis. Second missile fired from a tank slammed into the same spot. Oh my god. Dude, that's crazy. Dude, do they have this live?
An Israeli strike on a southern Gaza hospital has now killed at least 20 people. Israel's military says it carried out a strike in the area of Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis. Gaza's Hamas-run
That's an
health
actual
ministry
war crime. Everything they've done since October 7th has been a war crime. This just goes on the list.
Says amongst those killed were 5 journalists, including a freelancer from the Associated Press and a cameraman who had worked for Reuters.
When and where is it going to end? Are we going to let the Israel Defense Forces continue the repeated killing of journalists? There is international law. There are guarantees that should be granted to journalists covering conflicts, and none of that seems to be applying. So we need to be very clear about the fact that none of the journalists that are allegedly terrorists are terrorists. They are professional journalists working for legacy professional media, like, for example, Reuters or, for example, AP.
These latest horrific killings highlight the extreme risks. Partial investigation into these killings. He reiterates that medical personnel.
This is the type of shit that you fully expect at this point from Israel. Text me the video. On TikTok? Oh. Dude, anytime somebody sends me a link, it doesn't work. Because it makes me go to the app and then open the app and then it refreshes it. Up. Yo. Oh my God. Trigger warning. Bomb.
مقصود لهذا الزميل الصحفي حسام المصري.
لا حصل الآن
نعم.
الآن خليك يا الله راح الدفاع المدني قتلوا الناس راح الدفاع المدني قتلوا الناس.
Jesus fucking Christ, bro. And then people expect me to give a fuck about the Israeli hostages? And then people expect me to give a fuck about the Israeli hostages. I don't give a shit about a single fucking one of them. And I clip it and ship it, send it to Fox. Call me an anti-Semite. This has nothing to do with Judaism. This has to do with the fact that Israel is a genocidal maniac nation that is exterminating the Palestinians. If they didn't have any fucking hostages, they'd probably all be dead by now. They'd probably all be fucking dead. That's fucking nuts. This is a human rights violation? Yeah, the Israelis have been violating human rights since October 7th. The Israelis violated their own people's human rights on October 7th with the Hannibal Directive, when Israel bombed its own citizens and intentionally allowed Hamas to murder and rape their way through that southern part of Israel. That was all purposeful. It was all allowed. It was intentional. It was probably Mossad orchestrated in order to spark outrage and manufacture consent for the war. Oh, no, Israel doesn't give a fuck about the hostages. If Israel cared about the hostages, they would have sent in the special forces to go get them. But instead, they just bombed most of the hostages into oblivion. Ban Akira Himura for being an anti-Semitic dog. Go fuck yourself. Yeah, I hate Israel. I have no problem with Jews. If you come in here and you think this is a safe space for you to be anti-Semitic, you're about to get fucking banned. Like that. Like that. Instantly. Today's the day that Reach fell. Remember the fallen. Remember Reach. Spartans never die. Anyway, we've got a video to make, and it's going to be a little bit scary, but we're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna start recording. Here we go. So Donald Trump says that the American people want a dictator. He said it on camera. I'm gonna show you the clip. We also have U.S. Army veterans are being arrested outside of the Capitol for burning American flags. Our own veterans are being arrested by the Secret Service for practicing the First Amendment in front of the Capitol. Okay? That's where we're at. And it's not looking good in the United States of America. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think we may genuinely be cooked. They're painting him out as the liberator because, as you know, 19 states have activated their National Guard under the orders of the Fuhrer. It's called preemptive submission, but executive order is not law. Oh, you're correct. You're correct. But you have to understand that legality does not matter. I know that an executive order is not law, but the Trump regime and its Gestapo, they don't care about law. If Trump says it's illegal, now it is illegal. You do not live in a democracy or a democratic republic. You live in a fascist authoritarian regime where the only opinion that matters is the Fuhrer's. So, first thing we're going to do is watch the clip of Trump saying that people want a dictator. Then we're going to read a little bit about this veteran who was detained. We have a lot to talk about. Actually, we really don't. We have a little bit to talk about, but it is a lot of substance. So before we jump in there, I want to remind you to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. If you do want to support this channel financially, because this is real independent media and I have no funding, then you can click the thanks button down below to donate to the channel. You can become a patron on Patreon for $2, $5, or $8 a month. You can become a member on YouTube. You can buy merch, and you can use a 40% off discount code for Ground News. I have a burp coming. Oh, you can buy some of that merch, like the Democratic Socialist poster. Why do I have so many notifications? Anyway, without further ado, let's dive right in. So check out this moment. This is, I would argue, the most important moment of Trump's regime. This is the most pivotal, most telling, clear as day. This is it.
As you all know, Chicago's a killing field right now.
Not Gaza, by the way, not Ukraine. Chicago is a killing field.
Killing field right now. And they don't acknowledge it. And they say, we don't need him. Freedom, freedom. He's a dictator. He's a dictator. A lot of people are saying maybe we like a dictator. I don't like a dictator. I'm not a dictator. I'm a man with great common sense, and I'm a smart person.
Let's play that again.
Dictator. I don't like. A lot of people are saying maybe we like a dictator. A lot of people are saying maybe we like a dictator. A lot of people are saying maybe we like a dictator.
Now, thank you for the $5. If you think that that is just something he can say in passing, you are not an American. I want you to take a real look in the fucking mirror and ask yourself, what would you have done if Barack Obama or Joe Biden or Kamala Harris had come out and said, well, you know, a lot of people are saying that they want a dictator. I mean, I'm not a dictator. I'm not a dictator. But a lot of people are saying they want a dictator. This is how Trump operates. He plants seeds, and then he comes back to harvest a long time later. And my favorite example of that is Trump saying, you know, we are being invaded at the southern border. Right? He started saying that early on in the campaign trail, that it is a full-scale military invasion, that they're sending their gang members and their rapists and their murderers, despite the fact that he couldn't provide any evidence of that. And he planted that seed, and slowly that seed germinated, and it was watered, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger until he became the president. And then he started sending out more money for ICE, and ICE is now more funded than the Marines and all that. And it ended up leading to, as you know, ICE running around claiming that we are being invaded by the southern border, throwing the Latino population into concentration camps. That's where we're at. So let's listen to this take one more time.
A lot of people are saying maybe we like a dictator.
A lot of people are saying maybe we'd like a dictator. Now, I do know that there's a couple of bootlicking MAGA rat chuds in the chat, so I'll ask just one of them. Italrish. Do you want a dictator like Donald Trump is saying you do?
He's a dictator. A lot of people are saying maybe we like a dictator.
A lot of people are saying maybe we'd like a dictator. Now, here's the thing. I do know that a lot of MAGA wants a dictator. I've heard it straight from their fucking mouths. If you're a frequent viewer here and you come to the lives, you've seen them do it. You've seen them say it in the chat that, yes, we do want a dictator. We want Trump for life. We want Trump forever. They do not even pretend to hide it. Now, speaking of being a dictator, get a look. Oh, let me replay that. Also, real quick, that chatter that I was talking about says, he says, I want a king. It is time. We will not be occupied. So, guys, you don't need to take my word for it. The bootlicking beta cucks, the MAGA chuds, they are saying it with their chests. You can look in the chat right there. They are very, very open with it. They do not like democracy. They do not like freedom. They do not like the Constitution. They want either a dictator or a king. These people are your enemy, and you must silence them by any means necessary.
President Trump signed an executive order on flag burning. An arrest was made. New video into our newsroom shows an Army veteran being taken into custody after he torched an American flag outside the White House. President Trump ordering the Attorney General to prosecute anyone who burns or desecrates the flag, claiming violators will get 1 year in jail. No word on charges, if any, tonight. In 1989, by the way, the Supreme Court ruled that flag burning was a form of symbolic speech under the Constitution.
Then again, Donald Trump and the Trump regime do not care about Supreme Court orders. They don't care about law. They don't care about legality. All they care about is what they want. And what they want is for flag burning to be illegal, despite the fact that it's protected free speech. They don't give a shit. U.S. Army veteran was taken into custody in front of the White House on Monday after burning a flag in protest of one of the Führer Donald Trump's latest executive orders. The order states that burning the American flag is now an offense that can be prosecuted, with the White House saying that, quote, burning this representation of America may incite violence and or riot. What did the chatter say? No more games, this real life. Yes, no more games, which is why we are willing to actually do anything needed to prevent you from installing a dictatorship in the United States of America. I need you to understand, brother, this isn't a political difference. I think you are subhuman and deserve to be treated as such. That's not facetious. You want to rid my right to vote and replace democracy with either a monarchy or a dictatorship. I don't believe that you are on equal footing as me. I believe you need to be permanently silenced. That's my belief, and I firmly hold that to my chest. Our American flag is the most sacred and cherished symbol of the United States of America and of American freedom, identity, and strength, the order reads. Desecrating it is uniquely offensive and provocative. It is a statement of contempt, hostility, and violence against our nation, the clearest possible expression of opposition to the political union that preserves our rights, liberty, and security. Pretty sure it was Jolly Good Ginger. Yeah, there he is. Jolly Good Ginger, who was the one covering this. Now, big shout out, Jolly Good Ginger. I don't know if you'll ever see this, but big shout out to you, brother. Big fan. Now, we have some other clips of Goebbels, Nazi Stephen Miller. Beta cuck bald boy, fucking little lipped bitch.
You can't have happiness without security first. Look, if your streets are more violent, as these Democrat cities are, more violent than Baghdad, more violent than communities in Ethiopia and places that many Americans would never even dream of visiting, some of the most dangerous places on planet Earth. If more dangerous than Mexico City.
Dude, why are the frames so low in this? Give me back my frames!
That many Americans would never even dream of visiting, some of the most dangerous places on planet Earth. If more dangerous than Mexico City.
By the way, if you think Washington, D.C. is more dangerous than, like, Mexico City or Baghdad, you're so stupid that nothing and nobody can save you from your cult-like beliefs. You are fucking useless.
Democrat cities are more dangerous than Mexico City, which is run by criminal cartels. How can you pursue happiness, Sean? And to the point about the federal government and the supremacy clause, the president has the utmost authority here because he oversees.
It's his ball that overloads the light. Italrich, nobody gives a fuck about anything you have to say. You are in support of either a monarchy or a dictatorship. Shut the fuck up. Nobody cares about anything you have to say.
Federal law enforcement, which is supreme to state and local law enforcement. And all of these organized street gangs that are terrorizing these cities, that are dealing these drugs, that are trafficking weapons, that are engaging in organized theft, armed robbery, carjacking.
So if you remember, I told you that the Trump regime is going to declare war on Democrat cities. Now, what I believe the final nail in the coffin is when the Trump regime tries to repeal the Second Amendment from blue states only, claiming that these blue cities, these blue states are in active rebellion and therefore they have lost their right to bear arms. That will be the final nail in the coffin, the beginning of the Civil War.
All of them are doing business with, at some level or another, the transnational narco-trafficking organizations. So these street crews are engaged in material support for terrorism, which is the core function of the federal government to defend and protect.
Well, there's also one funny clip of Stephen Miller. I think they tweeted
in DC
it.
free.
Where is it?
Favorite park,
is it?
You see moms.
It was really fucking funny. Yeah, me in my 20s. This is it. Me in my 20s.
Body after body after body after body. Body after body after body after body. Body after body after body after body.
Dude, that shit needs to go viral. That's a fucking hilarious audio. But listen, let me close this out so that I can get my frames back. Back my frames, nice and slow. All right, they're back. They're not all back, but you know, that's something. We're getting the new computer. We got paid on the 25th, so we're gonna get this new computer. Anyway, listen, we're cooked. Donald Trump is being very clear with it that he wants to be a dictator. I'm sorry I'm losing frames at a rapid pace right now, but we're going to cut the video here so I can try and fix all this. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. Oh, and click that video over there. It's a banger. I know bangers. Dude, we lost a lot of frames there at the end. Truth will come out. It's an American truth, not a left or right. Bro, what? You're not American. You're not even American. You don't like democracy. You don't get to pretend to be one of us. Trump says he wants What's your opinion on North Carolina's position on the map from a few streams ago? Both borders are stays that are going to be deployed to. I don't know. I really don't know what you mean. I haven't done enough looking at it. I have not done enough looking at it. Save that. I love you, Mr. Italian man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Votes Democrats said they stole all the ballots from the mailroom. Blame Trump. Yeah, they didn't steal any ballots. No voter fraud. Born in Waukegan, Illinois this weekend, and there was a heavy military presence. They're also prepping for the Chicago invasion. Yeah, guys, every day it will get worse. Unfortunately, everything's going to get worse before it gets better. So you should fully expect the military to be deployed in your cities. Okay? They are coming. They are coming. Any news on troops coming to Chicago? They're coming to you in full force. Full force. Expect a lot of violence. Yep, I'm married with 2 stepdaughters. So let me ask you again. Do you want a dictator? Because earlier you said yes. Or were you just being emotional? King Trump. All right, so you're admitting that you do not want to make decisions for yourself. You're admitting that you're too much of a beta cuck to make your own decisions, so you want a big, strong to do them for you. Right? The troll just ban it? No, it's going to give me good content for a little bit while I make this fucking thumbnail. Why are you avoiding the question, Talarish? Do you want a dictator or not? Do you want a dictator or not? Oh. Sorry, guys. I'm doing some magic eraser right now. Thank you for the $2. What kind of pew-pew should I get? You're going to want a couple. You're going to want one for home defense, probably something like a shotgun. You're going to want something for personal defense, like a sidearm. And then some sort of, one of the scary ones, some sort of high-powered rifle. I will be your dictator if that's what it costs. Uh-huh. Yeah, bro. Are you good? Now, do you consider yourself to be like a functioning adult? I know you said you have 2 stepdaughters. But like, do you consider yourself to be like a useful member of society? Oh, this guy gives Reddit energy? Yeah, most likely. Most likely. Do a lot of town work within my community. But you don't want any of that to exist. You want to live under a dictatorship where you don't have any say about any of the town. Like, hold on, Italrish, you don't want any say over any decision in your life, right? You don't want to be allowed to make decisions, right? That's what you said. You don't want to be able to make decisions for yourself, right? What do you think we do in town? No, answer my question. You don't want to be able to think for yourself, right? That's why you want a dictator? Probably like 12 years old. Unfortunately, probably not. All right. Here's the thummy. This is Boston. You know about the revolution? All right, I changed my mind. This might actually be a child. This might actually be a child. Get this fucker uploaded. That was a Mamdani scavenger hunt. It was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I didn't find Mamdani at the end. Big shame. 32, you want me to come on stream? You're really obsessed with me. I'm just trying to hang. Bro, you said you want either a king or a dictator. I think you are actually a useless fucking husk of a man and an oxygen thief. I wish you ill. I don't think you understand. I view you as an enemy of humanity. You want to take away my right to vote. Fuck you and fuck your stepdaughters. Fuck your fucking whore of a wife. Fuck your slut mother. Fuck everything about you. Suck my dick. Suck my fucking dick. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about literally anything you have to say. I'm rage baiting you, little bro, and I'm genuinely praying that you get some form of blood cancer. I'm not joking. I'm not rage baiting. I hope you die. There's a huge difference. Pushing 40, by the way. I'm 27. There's a giant difference between us. Chris, what? 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 You just got over cancer in January? That's a damn shame. I wish it killed you. That's a goddamn shame. All right. Title of this will be Trump Watch. Trump says Americans want a dictator. Kidney cancer, I'm very strong again. You can kick kidney cancer king. Suck my dick. I hope your cancer comes back and kills you slow. Trump says Americans want a dictator. Live TV. No issues were found. We're good. Chris, just ban him? Yeah, no, I already said you can ban the Cancer King. What's the deal with the Talrish? He's a Nazi. All right, let's make sure the video started properly. Donald Trump says that... Oh, it's perfect. Perfect. Watch, Trump says Americans want a dictator on live TV. Publish. Imagine Valenti videos with a low taper fade. Imagine Valenti videos with a low taper fade. 2 bands today, must be my lucky day. No, what you guys have to understand, or like at least Jack, when he goes like all caps Chris, I know when people are in here trying to rage bait clip farm, right? Like I'm willing to bet money that guy was screen recording, trying to get something that he could post online. My reaction is intentional, right? This is the fuck you left. When they go low, I go lower, right? My reaction to him, he'll probably clip it and post it online and think like, I just rage baited Chris Valenti. That doesn't matter. The point is, some other people will see that clip and they will see that my ideology is being pressed out, right? Where I'm not hiding my belief that we should kill fascists. That is my belief. That's not hyperbole. More and more people will see more and more people saying, no, we should just kill them. And eventually, that will start happening. That's the point. Let them record, let them post, let them go, look, oh, he says he wants me dead. Yes, and eventually it will happen. That's the fucking goal. Okay? That's the goal. Oh shit, we've got some footage from Channel 5 here.
Yo, Channel 5, what the fuck? Holy shit.
What up, man?
Hey, man.
How's it going? So, what do you think about the relationship between Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein? What do you think?
Oh, no, this is going to get a fucking copyright strike, isn't it? I'm worried that this is going to get a copyright strike because of the music. We're not going to risk it. We're not going to risk it. Make sure you go watch this fucking video. I'm going to watch this afterwards when we're done streaming. I think Jolly Good Ginger filmed this.
For every single one of you American citizens, we burn this flag in protest to that president. We do this for respect for our citizens and our constitutional rights. What? I'm not putting it out. I can burn it. It's my right. Executive order that President Trump put forward today. According to that executive order, I should be in prison. Fire now. Starting fire, so we try to bring it over here.
Fucking bike cops. Thank you for the $5. Some of the stuff you say is wild, but it's necessary and hilarious. When you're up against actual Nazis, there is nothing you can say that will measure up to the literal physical violence that they are participating in. I'm not kidding, I could literally start calling them slurs, and it wouldn't even be fucking relatively close to them literally throwing children in concentration camps. Now, I'm not going to call them slurs because I don't want the fucking libs to cancel me and end all of the momentum. But I would. I fucking would. Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's legal to burn the U.S. flag. It is a major felony to burn the Israeli flag. No, that's incorrect. There are some nations where it's illegal to burn the Israeli flag, such as Israel or, I think, Denmark. But no, you can burn the Israeli flag in the United States of America.
Second thing is to show that this president and his lackeys do not believe in the First Amendment right. You simply burn a flag within, what, a 2-foot circle.
Supreme Court ruled it's a First Amendment right. Trump does not respect the Supreme Court whatsoever. They gave him a 9-0 unanimous order, and he completely disregarded it. The Supreme Court does not have power in the United States of America because it does not have an authoritative body. They give Trump a Supreme Court order. He says, fuck you, no. What are they going to do? What authoritative body do they have to force him to actually follow the law? They don't have one.
On brick, and you get detained.
Disgusting. Just a disgusting, disgusting downfall of our fucking nation. And these fucking bootlicking monkeys are gonna cheer for it. Excuse me. Answer my last comment. Is it illegal to burn the U.S. flag now? Well, Trump signed an executive order saying that burning the U.S. flag will give you a year in prison. Granted, that doesn't make it illegal to burn the U.S. flag because it is still protected by the First Amendment until he gets the Supreme Court to rule against it. Problem is, I'm actually 100% certain that it doesn't matter if it's legal or not. If you burn it, you will be arrested if there are cops nearby, especially the Secret Service, the FBI, DHS. Happy birthday to my wonderful brother Robert. He's in heaven now, watching down on us, and very proud of what he's seeing. What a great guy he was. I miss him and always will. Aw, Donnie, do you miss your dead brother? Aw. Did you know that your brother's actually roasting in the fiery pits of hell while his skin melts off and he's screaming? Did you know that's what's happening, Donald? Same thing with your disgusting whore of a mother and your disgusting piece of shit father. They're all roasting in hell, begging for you to come join them. Begging. As President of the United States, I will stand up to countries that attack our incredible American tech companies. Digital taxes, digital services legislation, and digital markets regulation are all designed to harm or discriminate against American technology. They also outrageously give a complete pass to China's largest tech companies. This must end and end now. With this truth, I put all countries with digital tech... With this truth. This motherfucker thinks he can just do royal decrees from a goddamn social media outlet. Jesus fucking Christ. Ugh. He's so gross.
Kilmer Abrego Garcia again fighting for his freedom and against deportation, this time potentially to Uganda, 7,000 miles away.
Yeah, and this is the wife that everybody claims is so horrified of him that she's like afraid to be near him. And Trump says like, yeah, no, his wife fucking hates him.
On a different continent. Abrego Garcia immediately arrested and placed in ICE custody following a rally on his behalf on Monday. But the administration's public campaign against Abrego Garcia...
Why Uganda? They just want to send you to the most ridiculous fucking place they possibly can. There's no reasoning to sending him to Uganda.
whom it accuses of being an MS-13 gang member, continued overnight, with officials releasing this video with the caption, "He doesn't belong here. He won't be staying here." Abrego Garcia, pushing back, can be heard in the same video saying, "Corrupt government." The battle ongoing with the administration determined to force Abrego Garcia out of the country after he was released from custody last Friday, as he awaits trial on charges he smuggled undocumented migrants into the country. Abrego Garcia has pleaded not guilty to those smuggling charges. And according to his attorneys, the administration said if he changed his plea and served time in prison, he would then be deported to Costa Rica, which has agreed to accept him as a refugee or a resident. His lawyers say if he didn't take the deal, the administration said he would be sent to Uganda.
For what reason? For why, bro? Why are we sending him to Uganda? Oh, God, and now he's got a fucking cabinet meeting coming up, too. Jesus Christ.
Thank you very much. This is a very special group of people. I've been with them from the beginning. Abbey Gate, it's a 4-year anniversary. So we're signing a proclamation honoring them and honoring you and honoring your loved one.
These families deserve answers. We're going to be honest about it. We're going to get
Could you imagine your fucking family is murked and you have to go sit with Donald Trump while he explains that to you? Bro, that's like when my fucking dad died and they had to fold up the flag and they go, "By order of the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump." And everyone was like, "Oh, no." Thank you for the $10. Clearly, it's a psyop to get Ugandan knuckles to support his failing administration. I wouldn't be fucking surprised.
to the bottom of it.
And I know from this president is he's made a commitment that memory will not be forgotten.
We're so proud of you. We're so proud of your loved ones for giving their life for our country. This is a rectification of a wrong. We correct that wrong today, and we're going to keep on fighting to understand, as Pete said, what happened so it never happens to another family again. But God love you all. God bless you. We're so thrilled to have you.
Did this account always exist? I guess it did. Sorry about your father. Oh, well, you know, that's life. It ends. The White House is on TikTok now? I know. I know, it's disgusting. I think more and more people are waking up to the fact that there's not going to be an election. I think that, like, every day more people realize that you're not getting your way out of this through voting. There's never been a fascist regime that has ever been voted out, by the way. Never in a million years. You're telling me you look at these people and you think that if the ballots tell them that they have to leave, they're just going to go, "Oh, rats. Well, we did our best, guys. I guess we got to go because the voters voted us out." Are you fucking kidding? Are you a fucking idiot? Like, and I do mean this. You're like, you may vote, right? We'll probably be. Are you telling me it's entirely possible we won't have an election? No, there may be an election, but it's all for just running through the motions and like honoring democracy in and of itself, even though we all know like your vote is not being counted if you don't vote for the Führer. In fact, if you don't vote for the Führer, your name is probably going to be put on a list of future dissidents. But like, I'm not kidding. I genuinely do not believe that you're going to be allowed to vote in 2028. I don't think that's going to happen. Thank you for becoming a member for 3 months, Ruby Tuesday. Much appreciated. Yeah, Putin style, where we're going to walk through the motions of an election, but it's not actually going to count. Wonder how long till the DSA is considered a terrorist organization? Probably once Mamdani is elected. Legitimately, can this be stopped? Not through legal means. No. No, it can't. Not through the ballot box, not through voting your way out. Never in history has a single fascist government been removed from office through the normal processes of democracy. They do not relinquish their power. They never have. And we will not be that outlier. We will not be that one example of we elected fascists and then we got them out through democracy. That's never going to happen. Yeah, no, there's going to literally have to be a civil war. Didn't Nixon get removed? No. He resigned. He didn't get removed. He just quit. Oh, why? Because he was going to get impeached over the whole Watergate thing, which looking back, I mean, now after we know Trump scandals, Watergate looks like fucking nothing. You know, like Trump would do Watergate and be blunt about it. They'd be like, Mr. President, did you bug the DNC to spy on them? And he'd go, of course I did. What do you think? I'm stupid? Of course I bugged the DNC. I need to know what the enemy is preparing. They're the enemy within. And honestly, I think that they're stupid if they're not bugging me. This is the name of the game. And then we would move on. I'm not even kidding. I think that he could pull off Watergate and we would move on in 24 hours. 100%. 100%. Chris, won't most of our military refuse to fight against our own people? No. No, the overwhelming majority of the United States military are the least educated and most violent people in the United States. They don't join it for the love of the country. They join it because they're living in a heightened state of desperation. They want money. They want college. They want benefits. That's it. They don't give a shit about what's right or wrong. There's a small percentage of them that do, but no, the overwhelming majority simply follow orders. They don't give a fuck what those orders are. The Purge mixed with 1984, mixed with Hunger Games? I don't know about that. So the military is the enemy? No, not the military in and of itself. The overwhelming majority of the enemy, the military is primarily composed of the enemy. I checked your fucking comment, Max Payne. I read it out loud. I'm just brainstorming. No, it's fine, but I read it. I thought I did. This is our Weimar Republic. No, this is our Third Reich. This is our Third Reich, bro. I did. We just watched that, Patrick. We just watched the veteran getting arrested outside of the White House. I said that before you did. It's okay. It's just a little delay.
And I would like to ask for your role in establishing peace on the Korean Peninsula. So I look forward to your meeting with Chairman Kim Jong-un and construction of a Trump Tower.
If you didn't know there was a translator, you would think that this guy is speaking telepathically.
In North Korea and playing golf.
Yo, King, talk about Gaza right quick. Israel just bombed a hospital, killed 20, including 5 journalists, some for AP, the Associated Press, some for Reuters, some for Al Jazeera. Also, the Greater Israel Project has begun. They are completely and totally exterminating the Palestinians while they expand their territory into Iraq, Jordan, and Syria.
Place. So, I believe he will be waiting for you.
That was the president of South Korea.
Wait, what did he say?
And playing golf at that place. So, I believe he will be waiting for you.
That was the president of South Korea telling Donald Trump to his face that he looks forward to peace on the Korean peninsula and acknowledging that the way that that'll happen is by engaging in personal business deals and playing golf. This is where we're at as far as the global community is concerned, that the only way to appeal to Donald Trump is by publicly acknowledging that he can personally profit from something, and so that's the incentive for him to get involved. The president of South Korea might as well have said that Kim Jong-un might even heap some gold gifts onto Trump in the process.
Dude, I swear to God, Trump, Putin, and Kim Jong-un are like... They're like the three musketeers, bro. They're like the three fucking musketeers.
And I wish I was kidding that is a step that people have to take now.
Only the FIFA president, presidents of countries, and then those who win can touch it, because it's for winners only. And since you are a winner, of course, you can as well touch it. It's pretty heavy. Yeah. It's the winner trophy. The last one who lifted that is Lionel Messi of Argentina.
Trump kept that shit, by the way. He kept that fucking trophy. By the way, all of that is illegal. Like, I know that Trump does so much fucked up shit that we don't even pay attention to it anymore, but you can't be giving giant gifts like that to the President of the United States.
Coal, in this case, almost all coal-fired plants. And coal is back with this country, too, by the way. You know, there's a reason they use it, because it's good. It works for them. And we call it clean coal. We don't call it coal. We call it clean.
There's no such thing as clean coal, you dumb fuck.
We have coal going up. We have nuclear going up. Nuclear is very much in vogue now. It's safe and inexpensive and great. We don't allow windmills. We're not allowing any windmills to go up. I mean, unless there's a legal situation where somebody committed to it a long time ago, we don't allow windmills. And we don't want the solar panels that I was speaking with the secretary about, because they take up, you know, thousands of acres of our farmland. You see these big ugly patches of black plastic that comes from China. And the solar is, you know, I like solar in some ways, but for firing up your big plants, it doesn't work. It's very unstable, but it really takes up your farm. The farmers are saying, you know, they're building these massive blotches in the middle of the fields all over the country. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. So we're not heavy into that at all. And windmills, we're just not going to allow them. They're ruining our country. They're ruining everyone. If you look at
the illegal immigrants and the windmills.
Look at the UK, what's happened at UK? They have energy costs have gone through the roof. It's because of wind. They want to do everything, close up the northern parts of the country. They have oil that's tremendous, and they closed it up, and they've been building windmills all over the place. And I tell them, you're my friends, but man, you're gonna have a bad awakening very soon. It's gonna be very bad. They're ugly, they don't work, they kill your birds, they're bad for the environment. And if you look at them from a house, your house is worth less than 50%.
Windmills are bad for the environment, but fucking coal mining isn't. This guy's gotta be, I'm not kidding, I think Donald Trump might be like brain dead.
Some countries are still trying, and they're destroying themselves. Those are countries that are really destroying themselves. I hope they get back to fossil fuel, because right now, Chris, whether we like it or not, fossil fuel is the thing that works.
Oh my God.
And then you can add nuclear with it and other things, but fossil fuel is what works if we're going to fire up those big monster factories. But if you look at comparing everything before I took office, domestic auto production is up 18,000 cars a month. And we haven't even started yet, because a lot of these plants aren't built. It's up 18,000 because Ford, General Motors, and a couple of others, Stellantis, they're taking their existing plants, and they're, as quickly as they can, they're adding on to them. So when their plants open, because they're building big, modern, beautiful auto plants. But think of that, we're up 18,000 cars a month, and essentially all they've done is try and utilize.
Yeah, and every single one of those cars costs way more than it did before you were the fucking president, because we import our parts from foreign nations and then build them here in the United States, which means that all of those parts have been tariffed, and that price is then passed on to the fucking consumer.
Car plants were leaving this country. Now they're all coming back in, and they are coming from Canada, and they are coming from Mexico, but they're coming from Germany, they're coming from all over the world. Domestic steel production is up by 100,000 tons of steel a week. We have a 50% tariff on steel, aluminum, and various other things. Copper just got brought into the picture, and that means people are gonna want to make steel here. We just made a deal with U.S. Steel, as you know. We have an outside company come in, spend $17 billion on building new plants, new everything. It's great, and it stays right here in America. So we're doing amazingly well on steel, and domestic oil production is up by more than 300,000 barrels a day.
This dumb fuck is gonna get the United States to run through its own oil supply to the point where we have to like fucking invade Canada for their resources. I honestly think that's part of his playbook.
It's down to about $62 a barrel. So just so you understand, because a lot of you like to talk about costs and prices, but I watch so much fake information. Product costs are down. Energy is way down. Energy brings things down. You know, with energy, that's what happened with Biden. He stopped our program
Thanks for the
and then he
$2.
went back to it when
What
he
I
realized
missed? You missed a
that,
whole lot, brother.
it looked like you're going to be paying numbers that nobody's ever seen, like $7 a gallon. You're going to pay $7 a gallon. They were up to $7.5. So then he immediately went back to the Trump plan that they terminated, but it was too late for them. It was too late. They blew it. They had a great thing going. I gave them something great, and they blew it. Since the inauguration, we've created over 500,000 new private jobs, and if you notice when
That's
the
not true at
numbers
all.
come out, government jobs are going down and private jobs are coming up, and that's what
No, that's because you fired everyone in the fucking government.
really fuels the country. It's easy to hire people and pay them for doing something that maybe is not very productive, but government jobs are down, actually substantially down, and private jobs are way up, and these are the jobs that make money, create a better life. Meanwhile, we've reduced the number of federal bureaucrats by 84,000. So we got rid of 84,000, and I think the job numbers, you're going to see the new job numbers are going to be through the roof because of
course
all of
they
the
are.
different,
The new
businesses
job
that
numbers
moving
are
into our
actually
country.
going to
Not
be
just
through the fucking roof because
businesses
he fired the last jobs numbers person and replaced her with a fucking January 6th insurrectionist that he pardoned. That's not a joke. Remember, like earlier this month, they said, sir, the job numbers are looking really bad. He fired that woman and replaced her with a January 6th insurrectionist that he pardoned. So come the end of the month, they're going to be like, there's 1 billion new jobs in the United States.
And said, honestly, and I like some of them, but they didn't know what the hell they were doing from a business standpoint, from running the country. And North Carolina, the most talented woodworkers that you've ever seen. I'd be there and I'd watch them. I'd say, I'd like to have a rail on that chair. Maybe can you fancy it up a little bit? How about this, sir? And they'd hand me a thing. It was like they were artists. They were unbelievable. And that business was stolen from us by others, not only China, but by others. All of a sudden, you're ordering your furniture from China. And it was not even close to being as good, but they couldn't compete with it. If we would have said it costs 100% or 200% tariff, you wouldn't have lost one job. It's so sad. But we're going to rebuild North Carolina furniture and other places, South Carolina too, to a lesser extent. They make furniture, but furniture, we're going to put a very substantial tariff.
Bro, he
on. We've
literally
already
just
announced it.
yaps, by the way.
It'll be done.
Like, nothing he says has substance, but he doesn't stop talking because the people who voted for him are so fucking stupid that all they do is hear his voice and assume that everything he's saying has substance to it. They're incapable of listening.
Artists that I knew as young people, they're older people now, but they still have the talent and they have time left, but they're going to be teaching their sons and their daughters and their grandchildren. And it's going to be a beautiful thing to see. It's going to happen like magic. It's going to happen without question. It's not like, gee, I hope it happens. It's going to happen. The results of Ford that just announced it's going to create 4,000 new jobs, American jobs. Hyundai, 14,000 jobs. General Motors is moving production of the Chevy Blazer and Equinox from Mexico back to the United States where it belongs. Don't forget, we lost 55% of our auto production over the last 35 years. 55%. We were the auto capital of the world.
We were
like
never
there was
the
nobody
auto
even
capital of the
think about
fucking world. That was
challenging us. We
Japan.
lost 55% of it to Mexico, Canada, China.
How bad is the retail
China,
sector going to suffer during the
and
holiday
other
season?
countries.
Oh, it's going to be fucking brutal.
And it's all coming back.
That's
We will be
probably when
bigger.
parents are going to
Couple years
realize
we'll
that the
be
price of everything that they want to give their child has doubled.
bigger. We make great product too. We're starting to make really great product. We're going to be bigger than we ever were. We're going to be at the level that it was when we were the only one that we sold to the world. And we're going to be back selling to ourselves and other parts of the world. It's not going to be the same, but it's going to be equally as important as it was in the heyday 30 years ago. But we lost more than 50% of the automaking capacity. In fact, the auto unions, as you know, the top guy didn't know me, didn't like me, and now he likes me. He says, man, I can't believe what Trump has done. But the auto workers voted for me. They understood better than anybody else. The auto workers, the Teamsters voted for me. Teamsters are great. They all voted for me. No Republican has ever gotten the support of the Teamsters and the auto workers. And now the head of the auto workers, I mean, it's so amazing. I watch them on television there. They can't even believe what happened. And I told them all what was going to happen. We secured new market access for American agricultural exports all over the world. Our secretary is doing a great job. Thank you, Brooke.
Dude, he's so hard to watch.
Negotiated historic trade deals with the United
this is
Kingdom,
supposed to be like
China,
some
Indonesia,
real official
Vietnam,
presidential
Philippines,
shit,
Japan,
and
South Korea, who
I
was here
can't watch
yesterday.
him. I can't watch him. He's impossible to listen to.
Sir, I'm George Cheedy. I write for The Guardian. I live in a small town, less than 1,000 people. I'm also a military veteran. I am a Infos-trained killer just like you.
Thank you for your service, George.
In 1996, in Atlanta, when the Olympics was coming through, Atlanta very famously rounded up people who were homeless on the street downtown, bought them bus tickets, and sent them out of town and often out of state. There's a lot of negative sentiment about that later. It's one of the things that people remember. I am concerned that in the press to eliminate encampments in DC, something similar to that is happening. What is happening to the people who are homeless, often poor, often have a mental health problem or a drug problem? Where are they actually going when these encampments?
To the concentration camp, where they are used as slave labor. Where the fuck do you think they're sending them?
Are being broken.
So first of all, George, I was 12 years old when the 1996 Summer Games happened in Atlanta, so I don't remember exactly the background there.
You're the vice president of the United States of America. You don't get to have a fucking excuse anymore, couch fucker.
I was worried about football and fishing and doing all the things that a 12-year-old in southwestern Ohio was worried about. But I think that the question betrays a certain misunderstanding of what we're trying to do and what is the nature of real compassion. I talked earlier.
The question is, where are you putting them?
Earlier about my son being harassed at Union Station a couple of years ago. Now, first, as a father, you have some vagrant screaming crazy stuff. I'm sure a lot of us have had this experience where you have some vagrant screaming crazy stuff at your 3-year-old. As a father, my first reaction is grab my son closer, make sure that he's safe. Okay, then you realize the person's not going to maybe run and charge and attack us. We'll just keep our distance. But then you think, wait a second. Why have we convinced ourselves that it's compassionate to allow a person who's obviously a schizophrenic or suffering from some other mental illness, why is it compassionate to let that person fester in the streets?
Fester in the streets. Fester. Like a wound. The word choice is purposeful. The intention is purposeful. They do not view the homeless or the poor or the mentally ill as human beings. They view them as trash and filth that needs to be cleaned.
You see them, they're
They cheer. And they cheer. Bro, I am physically biting my tongue right now. Oh, God, dude. Just a pipe.
You know, a lot of them have clear mental health issues. A lot of them have clear physical health issues. They're not properly clothed. They're not properly cared for. Some of them are wasting away. The compassionate thing is to have people who are having mental health crises, to get them in treatment, not to let them sit on the streets and yell at our people.
Sure, you want to get them treatment? Okay. Are you building mental health facilities? Are you building homeless shelters? Are you reallocating funds to help take care of them? Answer the question. Where are you putting these people?
They're walking by. And so the president actually signed an executive order to make it easier for some of these people to get access to mental health treatment.
Easier? He signed an executive order saying that they are all deemed mentally ill, and against their will, we are going to round them up and send them to jail. His executive order made homelessness illegal. What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know for the life of me what happened in this country where we decided that the compassionate thing was to let somebody fester on the streets instead of get the treatment that they need. It's very simple to me. And I don't know why we accept it as parents and as grandparents and as people who just want to walk down the street in comfort, why we accepted that it was reasonable to have crazy people yelling at our kids. You should not have to cross the street in downtown Atlanta to avoid a crazy person yelling at your family. Those are your streets, paid for with your tax dollars, and you ought to be able to use them like any other citizen of this country.
Wow, he just completely avoided the question. He literally just did not answer the fucking question. At all. That's actually kind of scary as fuck. Why? Like, he knows the answer. He's the vice president. He knows the answer. And he is refusing to tell us it. Oh, shit. India will buy Russian oil despite Trump's threats. Guys, what did I say? Do you remember? What do I always say when Trump goes, we're putting sanctions on Russia? What do I always say? I'm not even going to say it. What do I always say about Trump putting sanctions on Russia? What do I say? Oh, you said they wouldn't give a shit because they're in the BRICS nations. Yep, and India's in the BRICS nations, and that's what we're seeing right now. Russia expects India to keep buying its oil and seeks China-India-Russia talks. Russia expects to continue supplying oil to India despite warnings from the United States. Yeah, because he doesn't give a fuck, bro. He doesn't give a fuck about America. Trump, what did Trump say? I understand that India is no longer going to be buying oil from Russia. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's right or not. That is a good step. We will see what happens. Wrong. Fed Governor Cook's attorney says he will file suit over Trump's attempt to fire her. President Trump has no authority to remove the Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook. His attempt to fire her based solely on a referral letter lacks any factual or legal basis. We'll be filing a lawsuit challenging his illegal action. And you will lose. You can't sue Donald Trump and win. He has more money than fucking God. You will lose. You will lose. I think this is a lot scarier than people expect or understand. I'm going to record this real quick. We're going to do a quick video on this, and I mean a very quick video, and then I'm going to go because I got to go to the gym. All right, here we go. They're rounding up the homeless and the mentally ill, and they're throwing them in concentration camps. We don't know where they're going. J.D. Vance refuses to answer the question, and it is one of the most telling and genuinely horrifying non-answers to a question that I have ever heard. If you don't know, we covered it previously. Donald Trump just recently signed an executive order that makes being homeless illegal. It also makes anybody who is mentally ill, you can be unwillingly detained and thrown into a mental health facility, which is just a concentration camp where they will force you to participate in slave labor. You don't need to take my word for it. You can go read the fucking executive order yourself, or you can go back and watch one of my videos where we read it together and do a deep dive into it. But J.D. Vance was just asked directly by a United States military veteran, hey, you're rounding up the homeless. Where are they going? And instead of answering the question, J.D. Vance said, why is it that we care about the homeless? Why is it that, you don't have a problem with the homeless screaming at us all the time and being fucking disgusting, festering monsters on the streets? And no, this is literally his verbiage. So I need you to understand something. The Trump regime does not view the homeless or the mentally ill as people. They view them as husks. They view them as filth, as vermin. And that is because the Trump regime is a bunch of Nazis thrown into the Oval Office. And if you voted for Donald Trump, you are inferior to me, and you should shut the fuck up forever, unless you want to join the OAL, the Only Americans Left, an amalgamation of people who understand that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. And if you still support Donald Trump, you're a bootlicking, servile dog person. And I think that you deserve to be treated poorly. Anyway, hi, I'm Chris Valenti. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing and it helps me immensely. If you do want to support this channel financially, don't forget to click the thanks button down below to donate. Don't forget to buy some of this dope-ass merch down below. Don't forget the 40% off discount code down below. You can become a member here on YouTube down below by clicking the join button, and you can become a member on Patreon. And to everybody else, thank you very much for 85,000 subs. Let's watch J.D. Vance's most horrifying non-answer of his political career.
Sir, I'm George Cheedy. I write for The Guardian. I live in a small town, less than 1,000 people. I'm also a military veteran. I am a Infos-trained killer just like you.
Thank you for your service, George.
In 1996, in Atlanta, when the Olympics was coming through, Atlanta very famously rounded up people who were homeless on the street downtown, bought them bus tickets, and sent them out of town and often out of state. There was a lot of negative sentiment about that later.
Yeah, because that's fucking insane.
Things that people remember. I am concerned that in the press
Dude, literally, the Trump regime's answer to homelessness, the Republicans' answer to homelessness has always been the same. And it's fucking Patrick Starr. When that giant worm came to town, they go, what if we just took the homeless and pushed them somewhere else? This is like, you know when you have a fucking ice cube on the floor and instead of picking it up and throwing it in the sink, they just kick it underneath the fucking fridge and they're like, nobody will see it. That is the Republican answer to homelessness and poverty, is just hide it and pretend like nothing happened.
Eliminate encampments in D.C., something similar to that is happening. What is happening to the people who are homeless, often poor, often have a mental health problem or a drug problem? Where are they actually going when these encampments
Very, very simple question. You're rounding up the homeless and the mentally ill. What is happening to these people and where are they going? An incredibly simple answer.
Are being broken.
So first of all, George, I was 12 years old when the 1996 Summer Games happened in Atlanta, so I don't remember exactly the background there.
You're the fucking vice president of the United States. That's not a valid excuse. Shut the fuck up, you couch fucking piece of shit.
I was worried about football and, fishing and doing all the things that a 12-year-old in southwestern Ohio was worried about.
Like fucking couches?
But I think that the question betrays a certain misunderstanding of what we're trying to do and what is...
The question is, what's happening to these people and where are you putting them?
The nature of real compassion. I talked earlier about my son being harassed at Union Station a couple of years ago. Now, first, as a father, you have some vagrant screaming crazy stuff. I'm sure a lot of us have had this experience where you have some vagrant screaming crazy stuff at your 3-year-old. As a father, my first reaction is grab my son closer, make sure that he's safe. Okay.
Yeah, my ass, bro. I bet you grabbed your son to use him as a fucking meat shield.
Then you realize the person's not going to maybe run and charge and attack us. We'll just keep our distance. But then you think, wait a second. Why have we convinced ourselves that it's compassionate to allow a person who's obviously a schizophrenic or suffering from some other mental illness, why is it compassionate to let that person fester in the streets?
Word choice matters. Fester in streets. Like an open wound. They do not view these people as people. Have you heard Trump or J.D. Vance or anybody mention the fact that these are American citizens? That a lot of these are United States military? These are our veterans? No, because they do not view them as people. They view them as festering wounds.
You see them, they're...
And then they cheer. And then the dog men cheer. This is why I tell you, this isn't politics. You're not up against people who disagree with you politically. You are up against enemies of humanity. You are up against literal fucking Nazis.
A lot of them have clear mental health issues. A lot of them have clear physical health issues. They're not properly clothed. They're not properly cared for. Some of them are wasting away. The compassionate thing is to have people who are having mental health crises, to get them in treatment, not to let them sit on the streets and yell at our people.
Yeah. No, you're right. We should get them in treatment. So are you going to be spending any money to make homeless shelters or mental health facilities or reallocate any of the money that you gave to ICE, which is now more heavily funded than the Marines? Are you going to use any of that money to actually help these people? Because according to Trump's executive order that he signed, you just made homelessness illegal. So you're rounding them up and sending them where? Concentration camps to be used as slave labor as appropriated in the 13th Amendment of the United States Constitution? When you are thrown in prison, you can be used as slave labor. It says it. Clear as day. You don't believe me? Go look it up. The word unless is in there. Slavery shall be abolished in the United States unless you are in prison. Is that what you're doing with these people? Because I'm going to speculate because you won't answer the fucking question.
Walking by. And so the president actually signed an executive order to make it easier for some of these people to get access to mental health treatment.
No, the president signed an executive order that makes homelessness illegal and allows the law enforcement to round them up off the streets and force them into prison.
And I don't know for the life of me what happened.
Also, you killed the Pope. You killed the fucking Pope, JD.
In this country where we decided that the compassionate thing was to let somebody fester on the streets instead of be
thrown in prison. He has to catch himself because instead of being rounded up, he actually had to catch himself.
Happened in this country where we decided that the compassionate thing was to let somebody fester on the streets instead of get the treatment that they need.
Almost had a Freudian slip right there, didn't you?
It's very simple to me. And I don't know why we accept it as parents and as grandparents and as people who just want to walk down the street in comfort, why we accepted that it was reasonable to have crazy people yelling at our kids.
Bro, every time Donald Trump does a press briefing, it is crazy people yelling at our kids.
You should not have to cross the street in downtown Atlanta to avoid a crazy person yelling at your family. Those are your streets, paid for with your tax dollars, and you ought to be able to use them like any other citizen of this country.
Did you know that those are their streets too? Did you know that those homeless people are citizens of this country as well? Why don't you actually go for the root problem of poverty rather than taking the homeless and throwing them into fucking camps? How about the systemic racism? How about the fact that there are no social safety nets for the most marginalized members of our community? How about the fact that the VA doesn't take care of our veterans, and when they're in the military, all they learned is how to kill. They have no applicable skills to bring back to the real world. How about any of that? No, instead, we're just going to completely and totally avoid the question of where are these people going? They're being disappeared. Don't expect them to come back. If you're curious about what's genuinely happening, just go try to round up clips of listen to what the conservatives have been saying, the Republicans have been saying for the past 25 years about what they want to do with the homeless. They have wanted them dead since they were children. They want them dead. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing and it helps me immensely. And do me one last favor. Click that video over there. It's a banger. And I know bangers. Right, all right, all right, all right. J.D. Vance speech in... You have an idea of what percentage of the homeless are vets? No, I can find it. 5%. 32,000. 32,000 of the homeless are veterans. Episode 217. Thanks, sweet lord. Very blunt. I really do not give a fuck about anybody's opinions on my take, because I firmly believe that I am right on everything. Oof. I need water. Ooh. Stomach is killing me. Actually, that needs to be black for this. Bella Vivi. Bella. Bella. Sounds like a fucking Italian dad talking to his dog. Bella! Bella Vivi. Ooh. Righty? That'll do. It's too far to say we're no longer in the United States of America. I mean, physically, we are in the United States of America, but I would just go further to say that the United States of America has never been united. Ever. Ever. I was around scavenger hunt. It was good. And also, guys, if I'm being honest, I don't even think we should be the United States of America. I think that we should split. Let the racist South have their portion of it, and watch how quickly their entire fucking nation crumbles without Los Angeles and New York City. We supply something like 60 to 70% of the nation's GDP. Without New York City and Los Angeles, the United States of America is useless. It's a pathetic shithole. California and New York are the two most important parts of the United States of America. Your opinion does not fucking matter. Does not matter. California has a larger GDP than the nation of Russia. California makes more money than Russia. Have you seen that we're turning 3 Mile Island back on 2 other nuclear reactors by 2030? I'm not opposed to nuclear reactors. I think nuclear energy is the way forward. I genuinely do believe that. Okay. Watch. J.D. Vance won't answer when asked, where are homeless being taken? There. Concentrate. Bombs are the problem? Yeah. That's also something people don't really understand, that the word nuclear isn't directly correlated with just giant explosions. You can also have nuclear energy, and it can be used for a good purpose. It's also clean. Potentially the cleanest form of energy. J.D. Vance won't answer when asked where the homeless being taken. Let's make sure it started properly. The homeless and the... Nope, didn't. The homeless... All right, so we're going to have to change that once it starts. All right, publish. Nuclear fusion should be possible within 5 to 10 years. Nuclear fusion has been possible for the past 60 years, but it directly fucks with the fossil fuel market, the oil industry, and because of that, we probably won't adopt it until there is a complete, total overthrow of the current regime. We could have been using nuclear energy since like 1960. We just chose not to because profit. Profit, profit, profit. All that fucking matters in this goddamn shithole of a nation. All right, let's see if this, if I can get the homeless and the mentally ill, and they're throwing them in concentration camps. We don't know where they're going. JD, the homeless and the mentally ill, and they're throwing them in concentration camps. We don't know where they're going. J.D. Vance refuses to answer the question. And it is one of the most telling and genuine of the homeless and the mentally ill, and they're throwing them in concentration camps. We don't know where they're going. J.D. Vance refuses to answer the question. And it is one of the most telling and genuinely horrifying non-answers to a question that I have ever heard. If you don't know, we covered it previously. Donald Trump just recently signed an executive order that makes being homeless illegal. It also makes anybody who is mentally ill. That's where we J.D. Vance refuses to answer the question. And it is one of the most telling and genuinely horrifying non-answers to a question that I have ever heard. If you don't know, heard. Cut. If you don't know, all right, that'll do. Save. Confirm. All right, that's good. All right. I'm out of here, guys. I got to go to the gym. Thank you for tuning into the Valenti broadcast. Love you all. Appreciate you all. Keep the work going. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Do everything you got to do to send me money. Appreciate you. Have a good one. Bye, guys.